Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Allegas, your host. In this edition, we focus on Breast Cancer Awareness Month and the efforts of Hope4You. We'll speak to board members of the charity and learn about their fundraising efforts and also the role of members of the Missouri Southern State University sorority Zeta Tau Alpha that they'll play supporting Hope4You. Now, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we know that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. 264,000 cases are diagnosed in the United States each year, and breast cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women. So it's important to know your risk factors, such as family history, and early detection is a key to successfully treating breast cancer. Those screenings can include mammograms, physical examinations, and other screenings such as ultrasound. Hope4You is a charity working to make sure women can get those screenings. Michelle Wood is a Hope4You board member and a breast cancer survivor. She is also a Missouri Southern alum and currently works at the university as director of planned giving. And Brenley McPherson-Berge is also a Hope4You board member from Carl Junction. She earned her law degree and is practicing in Joplin with her dad. An athlete playing volleyball and basketball in high school and basketball at the collegiate level, she knows the importance of involvement and support that can come from teams. Welcome, both of you, to Newsmakers. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
This is an exciting month.
It is a very busy one.
You bet. So, Michelle, in a nutshell, could you tell us what is the overall mission of Hope4You? What's your big goal?
Hope4You, what we do is we raise money, raise funds for those that are uninsured or underinsured to make sure that they get mammograms or diagnostic testing to basically have an early detection if they indeed are diagnosed, because early detection is the key to survival.
Brenley, we know you guys have many fundraisers. How are these funds used then? You talked about the early detection. How does it benefit the community as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are one of the local organizations that make sure all of these funds do stay local and support women in our local area. So we donate to local hospitals, we donate to Show Me Healthy Women, and we really are big on making sure that local women get the funds that are raised by our organization.
I want to talk a little personally, if you would, Michelle.
Sure.
You're a survivor. How was your cancer diagnosed? And could you, how would you want to tell people about life with cancer?
2017, March of 2017, I felt a lump. And I immediately went to my doctor, went through several tests and screenings and scans, and that's when they said what you never want to hear, you have cancer. And so then I went through a lengthy treatment and many different surgeries, and as of August, I've been 5 years cancer-free. So.
Amen to that. So was family history a factor for you? Because I know that's one of the things they want to take into account when they talk to women.
Sure. No, actually, only my aunt had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And other than that, we did not have it in our family. Though now my daughters, they are on the radar, and as their mother and aunt have, both been diagnosed and gone through treatment, they have to make sure that they have early mammograms to ensure that if they do end up having it, they catch it early.
And one of the things about mammograms is you get a baseline, and they're looking for changes. So it's very important to have that first mammogram and then go back, whether it's yearly or biannually. And for some women, that can be difficult, can't it? I mean, financially.
Absolutely, and that's why Hope4You is so important, because we want to make sure that no one delays having their mammogram because, as I mentioned, early detection is key. I found mine early. I was stage 2. They were able to treat me for it, and I have a good prognosis. It's also important to note that Hope4You, 100% of the proceeds we raise stays locally, and that's part of the reason why Hope4You came about in 2007, is because there were regional organizations, national organizations, but we wanted the people that started Hope4You, they wanted to make sure that we could have these funds available for people in the 4-state area and keep those funds here. We do not have a full-time staff member. We're a 12-member board, and 9 of the 12 are survivors. So 100% goes back. We don't have any overhead.
Was that important to you? Is that why you wanted to be part of this organization? What motivated you to want to be involved?
I wanted to, yes, it was very important to me, and I wanted to make sure that women had the means in which to get the mammograms that they need on a yearly basis for preventative, but also early detection. And I wanted to give back. I wanted to make sure that those were available. The 100% was important to me to be a part of that.
So you mentioned 9 on that board of survivors. Brentley, you were on the board, but you were not a survivor. Tell us why it was important to you to be part of this organization.
Yeah, so I thankfully am not a survivor, as you mentioned, but I am a young woman with a reality that, like you said, 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I wanted to be a part of an organization that supports women and gives back to the community, because that is important to me. And again, like I said, I am a young woman with the reality that this could be me one day. I pray that it's not. I pray that other women don't have to go through this, but when they do, and if they do, we will be there to support them.
Excellent. So let's talk about getting the community involved. Why is it so important that the community as a whole get involved, even if it's in little ways, and you have a big event coming up, the Race for Hope? Tell me about it.
Well, as I mentioned, we're a 12-member board, and we're all volunteers, and so we absolutely need the community to help with the fundraising events and what have you. We can't do it without them. We really can't. And we have the Hope4You, the Race for Hope is what we call it. It's coming up October 22nd. It's downtown Joplin, and it starts at, I believe, 9 o'clock. And it's one of our biggest fundraising events.
So you can do a walk or
a
a
1K walk, a 5K run, come out and enjoy. We have a survivors ceremony that is pretty neat. That's
sure
right
it's
before.
Pretty emotional.
It is. And we have 2 banners, one of which is the survivors, and then unfortunately the other one is those that we've lost. And so that is very moving. But yeah, it's exciting. Everybody comes out. Everybody's decked in pink, and we encourage everyone in the community to come out downtown Joplin on October 22nd.
And we'll talk about how they can get online with your organization. You have a Facebook page. Your group recently had a big kickoff because it's an entire month.
Yes.
And we start with the Pink Bagel campaign at Panera. That was
Yes.
a big kickoff for you guys. Tell us how that works, Brentley, you know, the campaign, and how, hey, eating a bagel could help Hope4You.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are incredibly thankful for Panera for putting on this year after year. It is also one of our bigger events of the year. So every October, Panera does a pink ribbon bagel. It's in the shape of a ribbon, and I can't remember.
It's cherry and vanilla, and it's delicious.
Yes, I know.
Delicious
I know
toasted
it's
too.
many people's favorite.
It's
so,
very good.
Their own recipe just for the bagel.
Yes, and we appreciate that so much. So on October 14th, 100% of the proceeds from that go directly to Hope4You. But you can buy it at any time during the month of October, and we get some of those proceeds as well. Panera has also started doing a roundup for the month of October that also raises money for our organization. So like I said, we're incredibly thankful for them, and the pink ribbon bagels are out and ready for you guys to enjoy.
So, Brentley, how is that manifested into funds that I know you share with different organizations? You've had a lot of check presentations. How routinely are you able to donate to the hospitals and help them in helping women get mammograms as well?
Yeah, so I actually pulled up last year. We raised over $7,000 from Panera alone. So that specifically raised quite a bit of money for us. And we actually got to donate an extra $1,000 to each hospital that we donate to because of that event.
Wow.
So when those are successful, we get to share it. And so it was a nice Christmas present, a Christmas bonus, if you wish, to our local hospitals that we got to do for Christmas last year. So we're hoping to do the same. We'd love to give more. We love giving to our local hospitals to make sure it stays safe and for the women in this community.
And I'd also add that since 2007, Hope4You has given over $500,000 to the area hospitals.
Which is fantastic, considering it's an organization that is just boots on the ground.
Right.
It's kind of a sisterhood of members and all those involved. You have another event later in the month called Covers for a Cause. I know that's working with Show Me Magazine. Is that a fun event? It's being held at Freeman, I believe?
Yes, so that is October 27th at Freeman. You can come on out and take a fun, silly picture. We have all these kind of props, and you can take a picture, and all the proceeds go to our organization, which then we, in return, donate straight back to our local community and Show Me Healthy Women.
Well, you're doing great work, and we thank you both so much for joining us, and good luck on all these fundraising events that you're having throughout the community. Thank you both for being here. Coming up in our next segment, more on the role sports teams have in supporting the Hope4You mission, and how you can help by attending games during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll be right back. Back and continuing our focus on Breast Cancer Awareness Month and how the charity Hope4You is working to support those facing this battle. And that includes many sporting events, often known as Pink Out and Pink Jersey Games. Someone who knows a lot about that is Pat Lapira, who spent 34 years at MSSU, 19 years coaching softball, 8 coaching volleyball, 12 years as chair of the kinesiology department, and 3 years as vice president of academic affairs. She is also a 16-year breast cancer survivor and Hope4You board member. Also, Avery Brown, who is a Missouri Southern student and president of Zeta Tau Alpha, which is partnering with Hope4You again this year. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us on Newsmakers.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Pat, you are on the board, but also a 16-year survivor. Congratulations. Would you please share a little bit about your story, your personal journey?
Yeah, actually 16 years ago this month,
wow,
I got that dreaded call that said, you know, you have cancer. And I had felt a lump, kind of like Michelle. I just felt a lump and thought I better follow up on this. And that led to a biopsy, then which leads to that phone call, and then it's a rat race. I did have a mastectomy, I had chemotherapy, and I had radiation. So I think the goal once you start treatment is that you don't want this to come back. So you do anything you can. In fact, you say, if it'll help me, if it'll keep it from coming back, I'm doing it. Then you start the pills. I mean, it goes on for quite a while. I think, another however many years I took pills, 10 years or so. But yeah, so I'm a 16-year survivor. I'm excited. At 10 years, I was pretty excited. I was ready to turn a cartwheel in my doctor's office, and she said, Patsy, don't get that excited. Yours might come back in 15 years. Well, at 15 years, I went in, and I said, I can't do a cartwheel now, but I'm still excited. So anyway, that was my story. So.
But that is amazing. And was it early detection that helped you?
Yeah, oh yes. The lump was small enough that it was a stage 2. Yeah, you want to keep it from getting in later stages.
That's why getting that checks, mammograms, doing
exactly.
the physical self-examination, all very important.
Much.
Why was it important for you to join Hope4You and to be part of this organization?
I actually wasn't familiar with the organization until I got the phone call. I think they wanted somebody from Missouri Southern to represent on the board, and my name came up, and I didn't really hesitate. I thought, wow, kind of like Michelle had said earlier, I want to give back. I mean, I think what happens is you give hope to those women. When you get diagnosed, you give hope to them. Say, look, this is 16 years. You can do this. You can get through this.
You've been there, done that.
Yes, so I think that was important to me.
And you think they need to see other survivors.
Oh, exactly.
So now, Avery, the sorority is partnering. Tell me about this partnership. Why was it important that you guys kind of united fronts?
Well, we both share the same passion for breast cancer, and our sorority's philanthropy is breast cancer education and awareness. So even for those women who aren't going through it, they are knowing that we are promoting that education for them, doing self-exams, passing out pamphlets that show them how to do self-exams. They're waterproof, they hang in their shower, passing out the ribbons just so they know that they have people out there advocating for them if and when the time might come being a woman. And so we're really excited. We really wanted to get back with the community. It's been a long time since we've worked so close with Hope4You, and so we're really excited to do that this year.
do you think it is important for a sorority to have a mission, to have something that maybe even involves them in the community?
I think for me personally, I was so used to being active in something in high school and having something to look forward to. And I think for being part of the sorority, having that drive, having that way into the community to be a service leader, to give you something to look forward to. I really love helping the community. A lot of my sisters have really close stories to family members with breast cancer. And so seeing their passion for it, I'm thankful enough that I haven't had someone in my family have it yet. And I'm praying that that never comes. But seeing how it's affected my sisters and how they're living their lives, knowing that their family member is going through this, it really makes me want to have that hard passion for them, because we are all fighting for the same cure.
And it's kind of, we know that it's affecting so many women.
Yes.
So Pat, for years they've had a lot of these pink games. Tell me about Missouri Southern and how, it helps not just to have those jerseys for sale, but what else happens at the games, and tell me why it's a good partnership that Missouri Southern's involved in this. I know we have a number of games. Each sport seems to be involved in having a pink game.
Yeah, I think what we found is most schools want to do something in the month of October, and many times the schools didn't know what do we do with the money. We want to do these things for breast cancer awareness, and whatever school it might be. We're talking about Missouri Southern right now, but what do we do with the money? And I think originally they didn't know, and they were just donated to a hospital. Well, then when they became aware of Hope4You and what we do for the community and with their funds, we partnered with them, and it's been a great partnership. They have sold pink T-shirts at times, donations. We set up a table at the games and have some items for sale. And I think it's just a great relationship. And each team tries to come up with a date that they designate as pink game and invite us, and we have a presence, and sometimes we'll throw out a first pitch or throw out T-shirts or be an honorary coach. That's been fun for some of our members. So yeah, it's been a great deal.
How does this turn around also and do more than just raise funds? Because you have a platform there at the games. Do you think it's important that you're kind of getting that, showing the world that everybody cares and getting that education out there?
I think so, especially for us being a sorority, there is that stigma around it, and not a lot of people get to see that we are really advocating for our philanthropy, for our women that are going through breast cancer, for those we have lost to breast cancer, and for those who might wind up in the future getting breast cancer. And I think it's very important for us and Hope4You to have a presence at those games, because it's making people more aware. Even if they've heard about it, or even if they've gotten the pamphlet, having someone there, being able to talk to someone, a survivor, or being able to meet other people who have had these great significant stories, it might be able to turn their heads a little bit more in the right direction.
And it's a pretty big audience at a sporting event.
It is, and some people think it's just the women's sports, but it is not. I mean, you look at some of these men. Ronnie Russell's a huge supporter in the basketball, and so is Atiba Bradley in football. He'll have on his picture, because you think about it, the men had mothers and sisters and aunts, and so grandmothers, and so it's all, both genders participate in these pink games.
So people should mark their calendars and come to these games. Tell us when some of the ones are here at Missouri Southern.
Yeah, football is October 22nd, and there'll be a lot of pink that day, and we also, Hope4You, we're going to be raffling a quilt, a really nice quilt, so that'll be going on. Volleyball's October 11th, I believe soccer's the 23rd. Then we'll kick off women's basketball next semester in February, and women's basketball also do the auction of the jerseys. That's always a neat deal, the pink jerseys.
Exciting.
And then softball will always do something for us, and that date hadn't been determined because they won't start up again till March or so. So
I know they did that this summer at the Outlaws game. They all wore the pink jerseys and they auctioned those jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Does it make a big difference to Hope4You?
Oh my gosh! And you mentioned the Outlaws. We had a presence there, and they're so kind to let us have the proceeds. And we mentioned earlier, those stay local. And when we talk about local hospitals, we mean the 4-state area. We have Pittsburgh and Lamar and down to Neosho and Miami, and so those funds are utilized by several hospitals to help women.
And we are considered the 4-state area, so
yes.
it's kind of a great effort. Avery, you and your group were also part of the big kickoff at Panera
yes.
of the Pink Bagel. How do you think that makes a difference? And are you guys involved in eating the bagels, spreading the word?
Definitely. It was our first time being able to come to the kickoff event, and it was so great to see the community supporters, to watch the check presentations, to see that everybody there is all wanting the same outcome for women and finding that cure. And I think it really helped a lot of my sisters open their eyes, especially some of our newer members, to like see that this is a big thing. Like, our philanthropy is a big deal to women, not just us. There are millions of women fighting this. There are millions of organizations advocating for this.
Well, thank you both for joining us. I know, Avery, you have some of your sorority sisters here, and they're going to tell us more of what they have planned with Hope4You. Thank you. And when we come back, we'll be joined by more members of Zeta Tau Alpha to discuss how they will be working these many events and how you can attend and help support Hope4You. We're back. We're talking breast cancer awareness and support for Hope4You are all part of the mission of Zeta Tau Alpha, a sorority here at Missouri Southern State University. Members attended Third Thursday to raise awareness and funds. Now, we met Avery Brown in our last segment, Kaylin Peters and Chloe Terrier joining the conversation. Thank you, ladies, for all your efforts so far. But I know you have a lot more that you want to do. How many members are in your organization?
Well, right now we're pretty small. We have about 16 to 18 on like a good day. It depends on if we're actively recruiting in more members and everything. Last year we sat around 25, and we were fortunate enough in the month of October to raise over $10,000 for our philanthropy, breast cancer education, and awareness. And so we're small but mighty. But
Right. Yes. Well, I know Hope4You will be very excited that those funds are going to stay here in the local community. So talk to me about some of the Pink Out events that you guys attend. What do you do when you're there to kind of, you talked a little bit about education, to help raise funds in other ways besides, what do you have at your table, so to speak? You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, we are really big on Third Thursday. We like to have tables. We always pass out cookies and like pink lemonade, all kinds of things like that. This year we're going to have some raffle baskets with lots of goodies, some gift cards, some Aramish bracelets. Everyone loves those.
Yeah. So you're also going to be at the MSSU football game on October 22nd, which is the same day as the Race for Hope. Big day. So that's going to be a long day for you guys.
Big day, yeah.
So what are you doing at the race, and what will you be doing at the football game, if you want to?
We'll just be like volunteering, like helping, like we'll pass out water, and we'll just like be there to like help out, and yeah.
It takes a support network because, as they said, it's all volunteers. So having other people to man those stations, whether it's registration or people getting involved. Talk about, there's a whole bunch of events in the community. We have a little list we can share. Tell us about some of the ones that are also planned. Will you be attending all of these and taking part in all these events around the community?
Yes, we will be at the Missouri Southern volleyball game. We like to stick to campus events, so we'll be at the MSU volleyball game, the football game, and the soccer game.
So, and we just want to name drop here, Pat LaPierre will be the honorary coach at the volleyball game.
Carl Junction, Carthage at 6:30 on that day. There's also a liberal volleyball game. We have not had the opportunity to be able to go into the high schools and be a part of these, and so partnering with Hope4You has allowed us that like connection and that way in and that call for action to be able to be at some of those. There's also a Web City event at Adeline Acres that's also happening on the 22nd, so that's a very busy day as well.
And it doesn't have to be a sporting event.
Yes.
There, schools could have any other kind of event. You guys have wild suggestions for them? What would you encourage others to do to support the community?
I've heard that teachers pay to wear jeans on Fridays, and so those proceeds go back to Hope4You and to help in the fight for breast cancer.
So, and then there's another event, Covers for a Cause at Freeman. That's going to be October 27th. That's a big event with Show Me Magazine. Are all your girls going to go post for a photo? You can have your own cover.
It's on our calendar for sure, definitely.
You'll all be there.
Yes.
So talk to us. We heard a little bit of Avery's story. She mentioned that some of her sisters do have connections. And personal connections are what draw a lot of people to helping a charity. Do either of you have a personal connection? What makes you driven, and why do you get motivated to help? Hope for You?
I do not have a personal connection with any close family members, but of course, I always know people who have, went through breast cancer and have been survivors, and also a couple who unfortunately did not win their battle. And there's just so many women who are affected by it in our community, and so being a part of Zeta Tau Alpha and that being our philanthropy, I feel like I can make a difference in those women's lives.
Why do you think it's important for younger women to already get involved and to be in the know?
Well, I personally have a personal story. My dad's mom had breast cancer. Her mom had breast cancer. It does really affect his side of the family. So that definitely makes me aware, because then I can definitely be, I could definitely have it at some point. So it just definitely makes me aware that it happens, and you just got to find it early.
And if you've seen it like that, breast cancer, it isn't just the patient. I'm sure it had some, does it affect the family as a whole?
Yeah, definitely this month we're like, you just got to reflect and be like, thankfully that you caught it early and that they're still here.
Mm-hmm. So why do you think it's good that you're organized, that a sorority does have an involvement in the community?
I think it's so important for us to be able to be out there in the community, to show our faces, and so that way when our sisters graduate college, they could have a connection out there, the networking, not only for just the seniors, but getting our freshman members out there, and they can meet all of these great public figures, these hardworking women and men in the community, and making those different connections, and not only just for that step outside, but also to promote for the education and the awareness of breast cancer, to really get people thinking and talking about it.
Well, thank you for what you've already done, and thank you for what you're going to do all month long. Congratulations, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and we do want to mention that if you want to find out about all these events, you can go to the Hope4You website. That is hope4ubcf.org. I'll repeat that, hope4ubcf.org. You'll find out about all the events and how you can help and take part in the community. Thank you for being part of this production and for watching Newsmakers. Next week, we take you to the pool to learn about water fitness and aqua therapy. For Newsmakers, I'm Lisa Allegas.